this type of challenges, what you do is that you go through what we call the intelligence circle. Okay? When you do the processing and you do the analysis before dissemination point, you discover that the end game for them is to just turn this country into like a Taliban type of country. And it's a mindset. And anything goes. In other words, 10% casualties, 20% casualties allowed in trying to achieve the end game of Islamizing this country.
That's for the terrorists, the bandits.
It's not for the terrorists and the bandits, for the sponsors. Because I told you, and I will repeat on this channel, the sponsors of Boko Haram and the bandits are the problems. And defense headquarters, the army headquarters, the naval headquarters, the air force cannot do anything about that. Buhari has to do something about that. The Interpol has the list of those people that are sponsoring Boko Haram. I work with Interpol. They should ask, if they don't know, they should ask. The government of Dubai, they have the list of those people. During the trial of those people that were caught, names were mentioned. They have the list. The government also told us that they've arrested 400 sponsors of Boko Haram. Why should the government not try those people and bring peace and harmony and safety to this nation? Why won't a government do that?
Why won't a government do that? A question begging for an answer. Majority were convinced at the time that it was Boko Haram that intentionally stopped the security agent. You remember when, instead of going after these Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram terrorists, Boko Haram opened what they called Operation Safe Corridor. That one is for the Boko Haram repentant terrorists. The same Boko Haram created a section in the Nigerian army. Nigerian soldiers were sectioned to work in that particular department of Nigerian army. What was their job? Their job was to protect Fulani terrorists and cows across Nigeria. And if there's anywhere reported that Fulani cows were stolen, roasted, these military guys, their job is to go and retrieve those cows for the Fulanis under Boko Haram. So people felt like, okay, the license to kill was given to the Fulani terrorists by Boko Haram. Or once he's gone now, all these Fulani terrorists, all of them will disappear. You won't see them again because the person where they protect them don't come out. Was that not what they told you? Is that not what they told you? Somebody who is not a Fulani, a Yoruba man, is now the president of that contraption, of the same political party that brought the terrorism to Nigeria, that funded terrorism in Nigeria. And the reason why they won't try, I mean, come on. How many years ago they told you that they arrested 400 sponsors of Boko Haram, 400 people? Where are those 400 people? What are their names? And where are they being kept and being tried? The Bobo, part of the lies they told you, because the intention is not to. Now, you have a Yoruba man. You can no longer say the Fulani terrorists are being protected because their brother is the one in power. You have a commander-in-chief that is now saying that people should part with their land. And that is his own solution for peace. Boko Haram was more intentional. This criminal, Tipnumbu, is more criminal. Boko Haram came out and he was demanding for cattle grazing routes. Then he came back, he started asking for Ruga, cattle colony, ranches for Fulani terrorists. It was pretty much like intentional direct. So we were able to face him straight up. Waterway bills, cancelled. Ruga, cancelled. Grazing route, dead. What other one? Cattle colony, like that. Right. For Boko Haram, because everybody was like, defensive. This criminal, this druggie, Tifnumbu, He went behind and told them that, don't worry, I'll give you what you want. He created Ministry of Livestock for Fulani terrorists, all because he want to placate them. They went to Benue, they went to Plateau, they went to Benue and killed over 200 people. People went there and told them that they have more lands, so they should share. Right? So it is no longer about whether the person is Fulani, or is Yoruba, or is Hausa, or what have you. APC's agenda is very clear, and they are all willing to do it. Tinubu has given 80 billion naira to Gombe State to go and build ranch for Fulanis. Now, guess what? At Ilando, at 80 billion naira, and the ranch will be owned by one of these politicians in Gombe State. And that's what they are trying to push down south. And the southerner is the president today. Here we are. It is a best of death. Even this Mugu agrees to some extent.
The truth of the matter is the world is an interconnected global community. Whatever happens in Iran and Israel have complete effect in wherever it is in the world, especially in Nigeria. I have almost 9 million people in Nigeria. And that's a nation on itself, right? So they have massive following. And the fact that they have some reliance on Nigeria's powerhouse, they are Nigerian supporters, I think it should make sense. And again, when you look at what is happening in the Sahel, look at the terror groups in the Sahel. Most of these terror groups are cells orchestrated and planned by international actors. The major player, in the Sahel, we have about 5 major terror groups, all of them under the umbrella of one terror group that is called Janim. Jamaatul Nasr al-Isra al-Muslimin, that's Janim. So all under them, you have IGI, Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. You also have Masina Liberation Front, you have ISWAP, you have Boko Haram, and then you have Katiba Masina. So when you look at the direction, the guy who is in charge of Janim, which is the umbrella body that is governing all this terror group, is called Iyad al-Ghaib. Iyad al-Ghali, this man was regulated, of course, was recruited by some Western interests, by some international actors during the Algerian rebellion against the French in the 1990s. And this is the man that is still heading. And when you look at their strategic direction, they are actually heading towards the Gulf of Guinea. It's not about some Fulani bandits trying to attack some natives, some farmers trying to fight with some herders. It is a strategic movement. The entire global conflict in the Middle East is around control of 2 things: energy and oil, energy and food. Then one of the most important thing again is the mineral resources, but the major thing is energy security and food security. And any country that have control of the Middle East have complete control of the global power. And that is why if you check historical antecedents, most of the religion that came from the Middle East have global spread. But religions that start from religions that come from China or India, they hardly spread globally because of the node of the place. That place connects all the continents of the world, and almost all
you can move by land.
You can move by land, you can move by water. You have Indian Ocean, you have Arabian Sea, you have Mediterranean Sea, you have Persian Gulf, and at the same time you have the Euphrates and the Tigris River coming together, binding into the Arabian Gulf. So when you look at all those areas, it's a very massive high traffic area. So whoever control that area control the whole world, and whatever affect that place flows down to this base. And when you look at the strategic direction of these terror groups, they are coming gradually, hitting the forest, pushing in towards the Gulf of Guinea. Some of them are helping, some of the crises that we have in Benue, pushing towards Calabar. You also have another people that are coming from Ambazonia in Cameroon, pushing towards the Gulf from this side. And from this side too, you have another ones pushing towards Ondo, trying to hit. That is exactly the whole target, to control the energy supply for the African belt. And then we are all sitting and waiting. When somebody in Iran, like the Khamenei, mentioned Nigeria, we were thinking that we should just take it and say, no, this guy should not. No, he is giving a signal. That means we need to up our game. We have to find a way to ensure that we have a very good relationship at the border to push these people, these attackers, to stay in those countries where they are attacking, in Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Chad, and Benin Republic, where they are. That is where we need to keep them. And the reason why you see some of these Fulani bandits have massive weapons is because majority of the people leading these terror groups are actually Fulanis. Not that they are supporting the Fulani agenda, but they are supporting the grand agenda that is pushing them, that is paying them. And when you look at what happened in Syria, Shara, the current president of Syria, was an ISIS member. Right? And then he was pushed by the same Israel, and he took over control of Syria, giving them airwaves to get into Iran. Now, the same case may likely happen where we have Amadou Kufa, who is the head of National Liberation Front, and then you also have Ilyas Ajibo, who is heading Islamic State in the Greater Sahara. All of them have relationship, tribal, of course, relationship. They could continue to flow.
In case if you don't understand all he said here, make a try break them down for you, like in the layman language. He's not lying, and somehow this particular information is actually in the open. They are sponsored, they are foreign sponsor, they are local sponsor. The local sponsor that he himself, or local collaborators, which he sort of like omitted from his own mention there, is not lying. You see the entire Sahel region where the terrorists have become more dreadful. And why? Because you see, the last 2 years, I've seen the supposed Western presence in this Sahel reduced. Where they are still present, right? They are just pretty much there for being their sake, not effective anymore. And surprisingly, the terrorists suddenly gained more strength, weaponry, that they were taking on military of countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Niger, in full-blown war attacks, and then Nigeria. Now, the difference here is this. Nigeria is bigger when it comes, Nigeria military is bigger. Nigeria is supposedly richer, meaning Nigeria have what it takes to secure our own borders in such a way that the entire fight with these terrorists, if there is any at all, will actually be at the borders. But over the years, the compromised military, corrupt security agents who have been sort of like at the same time, right, fielding the terrorists with the intels, based on some of the happenings that we have witnessed in the last 10 years. So a corrupt military can't protect anybody. That's one very sad thing. A corrupt military cannot protect anyone. The money for weapons were mostly looted. And when the weapons are bought, most of them are also looted by the terrorists. So imagine if Nigeria was a real country, right? So it would have been that, oh, don't go to Nigeria. But you know something? The agenda of these terrorists that this guy didn't want you to know, because why do they want to control the energy sector of the Sahel, and including that of Nigeria? Why? Who are those sponsoring them to go and take over those, those infrastructures? The West, Abi, right? So what does it mean if the terrorist takes over the energy sector of Nigeria? I mean, take over your resources. Everywhere you have the resources they have interest in, they take them over. Everywhere you have, something like energy or a view, they take it over. So is that not like they plan to take over Nigeria? Is that not like a Taliban style kind of takeover? Take a look at what they did in Enugu. A report by the Arise.
Nigeria is facing an unprecedented wave of security challenges, one of which is the recurrent attacks on communities by Marudin headers. Residents of communities in Hamufu, in the issues of local government area of Enugu State, are the latest victims. Reverend Alex Onowu recently lost his father-in-law in one of the attacks. He tells tales of the attack.
We went to the farm normally, as usual. Unknowing to them, the Fulani people also bounced on them. They started chasing them, and they used machete and slashed the man like fowl or goat. When the news got to us, it was so painful and we all ran to village to see whether what we heard is truth. Getting to a village, we discover that it was exactly as they told us. They have killed the man, deposited his body in the mortuary. When it happened, government will come, console the people, and they will go back. But the effort are not be steady. They are not be steady to checkmate what they be going on. They come and go, giving room for them to attack again. Had it been the government is steady there, maybe station some policemen or military men, they will be able to checkmate the situation. Or due to they will come hit Haram, they are not steady in that place. So that thing give much room to the enemies to attack, which we have been calling on government to do something.
I feel very bad because this is the only father, no father again for me. And they have killed it. He did not steal any person's property, only that he went where I are farming. So since then, my heart, I'm not even happy one day because of my father they have killed. So what I'm saying is that it has gone that my father has died. But what I'm asking that the government should help us. Anything they can do, let them do it so that such will not happen again. Let them find help, what they can do to help we, especially the harmful people. They are killing us just like that. Let them help us and know what they are going to do so that it will stop.
The traditional ruler of Agwemede, who lost 10 of his soldiers to the attack last Saturday, says this is one killing too many.
It was a very big disaster. They did not shoot shotgun at first. What they do is using machete to kill anybody they be able to run off. That is how they continued from Iyasa, Ohalangbede, and the host of others that I have mentioned earlier, killing people. See, according to the report, it was 10, but 9 people is what we have seen the cuff, because even the pictures, it's unfortunate that the picture is not here with me. We took all their pictures. The pictures was sent to State CID yesterday.
Despite the presented attacks and victims' plea for intervention, Governor of Enugu State, Peter Mbah, says Enugu is one of the safest states in Nigeria. His confidence is best rooted in assurances from the Nigerian police force.
We're not going to rest on our horse. We're not going to rest on our laurels. We have the CP and his men that are alive to their responsibility and their duty. We do not have any tolerance for insecurity here. And so we are going to continue to work with the force. We're going to continue to work with the police to ensure that we sustain this security that we enjoy.
Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí. Ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ̀ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Very unfortunate man. He's been spending money hiring social media influencers to debunk the killings of people of Enugu, especially the people of Haram, and tell everybody that Enugu is safe. And then telling us that the security are doing their job, and yet there is no single Fulani arrested, a Fulani terrorist arrested for any of these killings in Enugu State. This is Nigeria. This is what Nigerians have been made to zip up for. Don't say anything. Don't offend the people in government. Don't tell them they are killing you, or else you're going to make the government look bad. To them, everything is fine. That's exactly what I see it as, right? Today. The other day, right? Transgendric. He called him transgendric governor of Akwa Ibom. That's the Kenneth Okonkwo. He called Ume Abina Umo Ino Abinko. So he said he was living for APC, Egbekebe, right? This was about 2 weeks ago. And they did this jamboree stuff and all that. Remember? They were not done. Because today, they expected Tinubu to come and then welcome him in a mega rally where a stadium was used to show strength and all of that, the entire Akwa Ibom are now APC. Hittiman was there. Yeah, was given the honor. So was Gandola, the Barbarian Mobile Banking CEO. Death of Nigerians doesn't really bother these crooks. And that is a problem.